Introduced there for those that don't know him.
Yes.
Just like some random stole the code and just hopped in. So, Thayer, who are you?
I'm Thayer. That's a question.
And he is over there.
Yeah. So, no, I'm Thayer. I am the student and worship pastor at River Tree Canal Fulton. So, that's who I am. Thank you for inviting me into this. Should be fun. So.
Yeah. This is only our second episode, but we might have to rethink the name at this rate.
I don't know what the name is. That's how little I know. I am almost like a rando that just stumbled in. So.
Well, we're glad to have you. There is a mountain of wisdom and has a lot of things to say about students, so he's a great person.
Thank you. I don't know about the wisdom part, but I do have a lot of things to say. So
I love mountains, and I love mountains, so yes. It's nice to meet you, by the way, Thayer.
Yeah, it's nice to
like
meet you too. In person. There we go.
Yeah.
Air quote. We should do one that's just 6 feet apart of us just standing in a room.
Yeah. I play basketball at the Rock not anymore, but yeah. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday we play.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
You guys have any cool lockdown stories from this week? Life is dead set that we're going to be able to redo all the flooring in our entryway by ourselves. So we'll see how that goes. If you guys don't know, I am notoriously terrible with building things and that sort of thing. So
flooring's pretty easy. It's all right. As long as you're not trying to stretch carpet or something. But the plank stuff, it's not hard. So no worries.
Oh, okay, cool. So even I could get it, is what you're saying?
I would assume.
Okay, good. Whew. That's great.
I have no experience with flooring or hammers, so.
Oh. I've never done flooring, but I don't think it involves a hammer.
Just give me a hammer and a nail, and I'm good to go.
Unless something goes terribly wrong.
Having a rubber mallet's handy, but other than that.
What is it like having a
child
during coronavirus?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. What is it like having a child during coronavirus?
It's a lot worse. Not because of coronavirus, actually, but so both of our kids are extroverts, actually, and so they can't go anywhere, and so they are losing their minds.
Oh, no.
Yes,
that's the hard part. It's just kids thrive in routine, and a big part because actually not only are our kids extroverts, myself and my wife are also extroverts, and so we are out of the house a lot, and that has all changed over the last month and a half. So my kids are not enjoying it. So yeah.
It actually makes a perfect segue. Prepare for this.
Disobedience, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So the question of the day is, how do we deal with the question, or I guess statement, I'm bored? During this time, students are losing their minds, and if you ask any of them how it's going, the best thing they can probably say is, I'm bored. So as youth workers, as volunteers, as parents, siblings, whatever, as we try to invest in the next generation, how do we tackle this I'm bored thing? What words of wisdom do you guys have? I'd say, for me, the best thing that I could say to students is if you're an introvert, there's a huge difference between I need to be away from people because I'm overwhelmed and I'm antisocial and I don't want to be around people. During a crisis like this, maybe the worst thing you can do is completely isolate yourself. And it might be tangential to the whole I'm bored thing, but I think one of the best things students can do is avoid isolating themselves. Not allowing themselves to be in this alone can go a long way to tackling those feelings that they're struggling with.
Yeah, I think of the things that we talked about last week, with what can we do is you can get super creative with helping people, or just calling people. You can get super creative with that, either funny voice. I don't even know if people use voicemail anymore. I don't think I have got one, but I don't know, just funny video messages or videos and sending them to people. You can get super creative with that stuff now, and use your mind, and to even help some other people.
Yeah. Dara, what are your children doing to stop the boredom?
Well, my oldest daughter's 3, so they don't do much of anything. We have to do it for them. So, but as far as kids that would probably likely be listening to this podcast, it's a lot of the same thing. Boredom is kind of a choice for a lot of kids. Honestly, you just have to choose to be bored, or choose not to be bored. That's at least, I don't think that's changed since I was a kid. All of the same things that I used to play with and do and entertain myself with, I think still exist. Last I checked, outdoors is still there. It's trees still exist. Friends are still around. You can text, you can call. In fact, most parents that I know are actually pretty okay with their kids going outside and playing. So I don't know. I used to just explore a lot when I was a teenager. I would just go find woods, and then I would just wander around them and try to find cool stuff. I don't know that I inherently am hey, you should just go out into random woods and get lost, but
Go.
don't travel into a forest or anything. But,
no, but I think you have a point that exploring the world, whether that be physically, leaving the bounds of where you traditionally are, and just finding new things in the world, whether that be hobbies, talents.
Yep.
I've seen one really cool thing, and not to brag on some of my students, they were actually just in the news recently because they were like, I'm bored. Let's play Minecraft. And they got together with a bunch of friends and ended up recreating the entire Maslin High School, and interior and exterior. So, yeah, I guess exploring the world in new ways is a huge one.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard, I don't have time for that?
Never. I've never heard anybody say that. Yeah.
I really think coronavirus is an awesome time to get those things done that you never had the time for. It's I don't have time for that. Well, now you almost have unlimited time.
Almost. Yeah, I mean, so I know most kids are still dealing with homework, and they're still dealing with a lot of those same things. But yeah, in terms of the actual time that it takes to do most of that, it's still nowhere close to what school takes up. They're not spending 8 hours a day on online homework, on online schooling.
I hope not.
So I think for a lot of kids, it's less boredom and more, some of them just don't have structure, and they just need structure. So it's easier when school is telling you exactly what to do, and then you have your routine, you have your after school stuff. So, I mean, think about us as student pastors and the adjustment and losing our routine, losing our workspace, and losing all of those things. And I was super out of sorts for weeks. I'm probably still pretty out of sorts, if I'm being honest. So the kids are dealing with the exact same thing. They lose their space. They lose their sense of, this is where I fit, this is where I belong, this is where I'm supposed to be. I've lost sports, I've lost all of these things. And so for them, I don't even know if it's boredom necessarily, as much as like I just don't know what to do with myself, because normally I don't have to think that much about what to do with myself. There's always somebody telling me what to do, and now there isn't.
Yeah, one of the best conversations I had a few months ago when school was still a thing was with a group of eighth graders, and they said, like, I can't wait to get to high school because I'll actually have some time to myself. I had to break to the news to them that no, it's going to be. But it's that idea that middle school and high school, like, their lives are like sectioned out for them in a way if they choose to do anything beyond just go to school. So, I think that's where parents really play a key role in keeping some sort of, here's a structure that we're going to follow as a family. And that starts with the family. I don't think students are going to be the ones to pick that up and be like, okay, from 1 to 3, we're doing this. And 5 to 6, we're doing this.
Get out the family calendar.
Hey, that's actually a really good idea.
And the cool thing is too, like when you put in structure, like I think of a lot of like athletes, and it's RIP to spring seasons. Feel really bad for them, but like I think of athletes, like what a great chance to really work on your craft and like get better at a bunch of stuff, or like work on like ball handling for basketball, or just a bunch of stuff. Like, you know, flexibility for football. There's not a whole lot of lifting that unless you have a full weight set. Like, yeah, just like the upcoming season, like you can structure in like getting better at what you have coming up in your football or seasons, or
yeah. But I think for students that haven't, in middle school and high school, it's all about discovery. Who are you? Where do I belong? Why am I here? This comes into a time where students actually find out, like, oh, I'm actually really talented at, and insert the blank, if they take the time and have the structure to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Or learn something new, you know, like playing the guitar.
Yeah, how's guitar going?
Have not started yet, but I will get into I listen right here. So,
are you learning guitar? Is that what I'm gathering?
Yes, I'm learning. Well, almost on the way to learning how to play the guitar.
What does that mean?
I'm almost learning the guitar.
He's working on his craft.
Like the motivation's there, but the minutes and the time and like, you know, that just hasn't.
Aren't we on a podcast right now talking about how like we talk, like, isn't that kind of the point of what we're talking about right now? Like, I don't have time.
Well, we just can edit this part out. But, you know.
But he's in charge of editing. He's like, all right, at the 8-minute mark, we're cutting
this part out. Makes me look bad. So no, actually,
oh, that's great.
If it makes you feel any better, that's most people that want to learn how to play guitar. So I teach guitar. That's one of my side gigs. And there's the one of the biggest issues that I have is the number of people that are like, well, I take this 30-minute lesson once a day, like once a week. Why am I not getting better? I'm like, well, when do you pick up the guitar any other time? They're like, I take this 30-minute lesson once a week. Like, I'm like, oh, no. Guitar lessons are basically just like, hey, here's your homework. This is what you need to do to get better. And then the next week I give you more homework. That's it. That's all.
You mean like you can't just pick up something and be good at it on your first try?
It's very hard to believe. The other issue with guitar is this is like the difference between kids that learn piano and kids that learn guitar. There's so much like work that you have to put in just to make the instrument sound good in the first place. It's actually hard to make the instrument sound the way that it's supposed to sound. And so a lot of people will give up. They're like, I suck. It's like, no, you just haven't, like, your fingers aren't strong enough to do what they need to do yet. Like, the calluses aren't built. And that actually does matter for being able to create the sound. When you got soft little squishy fingers, they don't hold the strings down tight enough, and that's it. It buzzes, it rattles. And so there's just all these things that, like, you just have to push through. This is a weird side note that has very little to do with the topic, but
I think it works pretty well. It's a matter of like students are going to probably try to pick up something new. I know some students have tried to pick up drawing, and there's this idea that like if I'm not good at it right away, well, I'm not good at it. I should just stop. Which I think anybody that deals with students, we have to fight that, because that is a dangerous mindset to only do the things that you're good at or the things that you naturally excel at. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Cool. Have you guys found any cool tools for learning new things during this time?
Well, my experience with playing the guitar, like, I'm kidding.
Back to the guitar.
YouTube. So, yeah. YouTube and actually, weirdly, my dad. So I have personally, this has been refinishing or just doing a bathroom in my basement. And so was doing some drywall. My dad's super good at drywall. As it turns out, I am not super good at drywall. And so I have a lot of sanding that I have to do. But
no.
It's basically, well, it's whatever. It's fine. But it's just, hey, I don't really know how to do this. And so let's hop on YouTube and just watch videos of how to do it. And then I go and I try to do it. To pretty terrible results, if I'm being honest. But my dad is super good at drywall, and so I can always call him. I can like, hey, Dad, what should I do here? Like, what's the thing? He's like, you have the wrong tools. I'm like, dang it. But that's just what I would encourage kids to do, truthfully, is, hey, I want to learn something. Okay, try to find people that know how to do it and glean from them. And that might be people that are already in their own social network, their own reality, and that they might know nobody that has that skill. And so that's using YouTube for what it's for instead of just watching really, really stupid videos that waste time, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's not sometimes worthwhile too, but
we're in a golden age of technology where, like, if you want to learn something, the access to it, whether it be books, media, video, it's all there in some capacity. But I think there's almost a tiered system to that sort of thing. When you're trying to learn something new, it's like books, video, an actual person standing there right beside you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it does cost money, but I use it's called Scribes, and it has, well, I usually mostly use it for like Bible study and stuff and just different books. Have you guys ever heard of Scribes?
No idea what that is.
It's like Netflix for books and audiobooks is the best way to describe it. And so there's just like this like huge amount of commentaries and just different books. And they also have sheet music and a bunch of books on like how to do stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's super cheap, but it's like thousands and thousands of books and audiobooks on just how to do stuff. And also, yeah, like educational books and stuff. So
it's like Audible, but for educational books.
Yeah. So, well, and there's also like just like plain books like Lord of the Rings and like Chronicles of Narnia and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've kind of shot all over the place, ranging from the mindset of students to guitars to how parents deal with it to tools. So hopefully the people at home get something out of that. It goes good.
But Ben, that's why people listen to the Massillon / Stark County / Canal Fulton Youth Pastor podcast. Why? That's why the people come and listen to our podcast, Ben.
Isn't this week 2? Is this the second episode?
Yeah.
Yes, we have this huge following that, yeah. So
yeah,
that's what the people want.
That's why my wife will listen when I force her to listen.